Thank you for joining VIA to learn more about our plans in building a better bus system for our community. In order to build a better bus system, we need to understand how our existing system operates, functions, and how the public perceives the service we provide. We have been engaged in a very detailed, thorough analysis of every route that VIA operates, looking at ways we can improve the efficiency of our system and provide a more frequent experience for you, our customers. When we look at our existing peak frequency service, that is how often a vehicle arrives during the AM or PM rush, we know there's some room to improve. For example, the service currently provided today shows a small sliver hitting the 10 to 12 minute frequency. We get to about 20% of our system operating in the 15 to 20 minute frequency, but the majority of the service able to be provided today by VIA, in some areas, is in excess of 30 minutes waiting in between vehicles, and in those areas marked in red on the map, service operates on a once an hour frequency. We take all of this into account as we look at how we go about building a better bus system, and there are three main planks that we want to pursue. First, we want to improve the rider experience. We do that by simplifying the network and by increasing frequency where we can. And that echoes what we've heard from the community. Over the past months, as we've been working on this analysis, you've taken part either by visiting our project website, by attending stakeholder meetings, or by participating in the online allocation game, or any number of other outreach activities that we've provided. And what we've heard consistently is the community wants faster travel, more service within that 15-minute frequency range, expanded late-night service, look at a possible expansion of the service area, and provide express routes. So how do we do all of that? Well, we already have some of those improvements underway, and over the next few slides, we're going to talk about the improvements that are either already in operation, are coming soon, or that we have planned into 2019. First, in January of this year, we were able, thanks to a partnership with the City of San Antonio, to increase frequency on a number of routes. For example, routes 502, 602, 607, 611, 613, 615, 617, and 618 now operate at a 30-minute frequency Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Routes 20 and 26 now operate at a 12-minute frequency Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. This increased frequency is made possible by funding from the City of San Antonio. VIA has also added two new routes. Route 503, which is a crosstown route connecting the South Texas Medical Center to Stone Oak along Huebner Road, and Route 7, an express route operating from the Stone Oak Park and Ride into downtown San Antonio. As part of the addition of Route 7, we also modified the service provided by Route 6, the 281 Express, in order to provide service in multiple locations. In May of 2018, again, thanks to funding from the City of San Antonio, riders will be able to see increased frequency on routes 3, 24, and 76. These routes will start operating on 12-minute service. And as we look forward to fiscal year 2019, we will see the launching of two new Primo lines, one on Zarzamora and one on Military. These two new lines should be open in early 2019. In addition, thanks to the partnership with the City of San Antonio, we're also anticipating funding becoming available to provide increased frequency on additional routes to help get more of the system down to a 12-minute frequency. Finally, we're looking at ways we can provide a combined frequency on Broadway, so between routes 9 and 14, you would be able to enjoy 10-minute service throughout the day. But we also know there is more that needs to be done to help build that better bus system. Over the next few slides, we're going to talk about the components that we see going into building a better bus system and how the community can become involved. First, we want to rethink how our system operates. So we're looking at creating a service category called prime frequency. This service category would show routes that operate 12 minutes or better throughout the day. This would include our Primo service, Route 100, 102, and 103. Routes 102 and 103, the military and Zarzamora routes respectively, will be operational in 2019. The routes shown in red on the map do have some funding from the City of San Antonio involved, with the exception of Route 301, Viva Centro, which is provided by Via Metropolitan Transit. These routes working together would start forming the core of our new network. We would then augment the prime frequency routes with frequent service. These are routes that would operate on a frequency of a vehicle 15 minutes or better all day long. Currently, Route 79 is funded by VIA for this improvement. Routes 82 and 88 are funded for 15-minute service through the partnership with the City of San Antonio. The other routes shown on this screen, however, will require identification of additional funding in order to provide the 15-minute frequent service. So when we combine our proposed prime frequency and frequent service, the result is a proposed core network for VIA that would provide at least 15-minute service from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. Included in this new service would also be the fact that these routes would be in operation from 4 a.m. until 1 a.m. To be able to achieve this core network, which would include later hours of service, more frequent service, and a consistent service throughout the week, we will need to identify additional funding. But this is the first step of our proposal in bringing forward a better bus system for our community. Outside of the core network, we also need to look at our local service. Under this plan, we would no longer provide routes operating at 60-minute frequency as part of a dedicated fixed route service. We'll talk about that concept in more detail in just a moment. The local network that you see on the screen would have a vehicle arriving 30 minutes or better, 7 days a week. At this time, we would still need to identify additional funding or reallocate existing funding in order to bring this service to fruition. As shown in the slide, the next level of proposed improvements in building a better bus system is looking at express service. That is service that may travel from a park and ride or other key location into an employment hub. Of the routes shown on the screen, Route 12 currently will need additional funding to be identified in order to begin operations. All of the other routes shown on the screen currently either have funding or have plans for funding identified by VIA. When we combine all components of the Better Bus system, including prime frequency, frequent service, local service, and express service, the result is a transformation of the VIA system. Indeed, looking at just the proposed peak frequency, again in the AM or PM rush hours, we see a system that provides more frequent service, reaching more of our community across the region. But going from where we are today with our existing half-cent system and the frequency distribution that you can see, where we unfortunately will still have some routes operating at greater than 30-minute service, we move to the Better Bus system. Under this concept, we no longer have 60-minute service routes, and either through additional funding or reallocation of existing resources, we're able to deliver a more robust transit system for our community. This also leads us to where we want to be by 2040. Under our VIA Vision 2040 plan, even in peak AM and PM rush hour, we would have service provided between a 20-minute frequency or a 10 to 12-minute frequency. The Better Bus System concept helps move us closer to the reality of 2040. We'd like to spend a few minutes talking about the benefits and impacts of the proposed Better Bus system. In looking at the first benefit of the Better Bus system, we can see that improved access to frequency is at the top of the list. With implementation of the Better Bus system, we will have more people able to access both Primo and vehicles arriving every 15 minutes or better on a daily basis. In fact, based upon projections, we'll be able to see in the Primo lines at least 147,000 people having access within a 7-minute walk. And 141,000 jobs will be accessible within that same 7 to 10-minute walk. On the frequent network, those routes that operate 15 minutes or better, the numbers become even larger. What this shows us is that providing the Better Bus system plan helps open up opportunity for riders, for employment, and for opportunities for enrichment across the community. We also can see that the implementation of the Better Bus system plan helps simplify the network. It provides faster, direct, and more efficient connections linking employment hubs and residential areas, similar to what we see in the City of San Antonio's SA Tomorrow plan. This concept also provides more direct service between park and rides and employment centers, allowing you to park, ride, and smile while leave the driving to VIA. And this concept also provides improved weekend service. By that we mean that the routes we show on Express, Local, Frequent, and Prime frequency will be able to be replicated with increased frequency compared to the weekend service we provide today. But let's talk a little bit about how this helps simplify the network. One of the concepts we need to talk about, though, in order to achieve this simpler network, is to look at route consolidation. The image shown on the screen is for illustrative purposes only. In this scenario, you see a number of routes, some with 15-minute frequency, some with 20, some with 30, all accessible within a quarter mile. So a quarter mile equates to about a 3 to 5 minute walk. But if we were to engage in thoughtful consideration of transit and looking at how we could provide service at a faster frequency, perhaps by asking the public to walk an additional 2 to 5 minutes to access the stop, we may be able to move from the system that you see on the screen today to one that simplifies the network, provides access to more frequent service, and helps provide a cohesive, easily understandable system map and plan throughout the region. The Better Bus Plan concept also allows us to expand late night service. Today, our late night service operates on a lineup, which takes a little bit of getting used to. We recognize, though, that as our community changes, the need to be able to provide service on a more continual basis has also increased. Under the Better Bus System plan, we would be able to have 23 regular routes and 3 Primo routes operating from 10:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. 7 days a week. We would add crosstown routes to late night connections, and we would provide service above and beyond what's provided today with the lineup. The Better Bus System plan lays the groundwork for achieving Vision 2040 by providing more efficient service for riders and streamlining coverage inside and outside of Loop 410, recognizing the changing urban landscape of our communities. This plan helps streamline coverage and provides more crosstown connectivity than we experience today. When we look at the future of transit, we also need to look at how technology is going to change that face. This plan includes the creation of innovative transit zones to provide mobility on demand services. The mobility on demand concept is proposed for those areas shaded on the map. These areas, which we refer to as innovative transit zones, will look at reallocations of resources provided by VIA for public transit in these areas to a rideshare model that provides more options and more frequent service for our community. The goals of the mobility on demand concept are simple. We want to provide a new type of service for areas that have emerging ridership demand. And we want to provide service for the first and last mile connectivity into the transit network. This will allow us to better utilize existing funding and replicate a model that we've seen in action across the country. We are currently moving forward with a pilot program in Northeast San Antonio. This proposed area, shown in the purple shading on your screen, would still have service hours and span that correspond with existing VIA service. We would look to say that trips must begin and end within the designated location, such as a transit center, or be within this zone to be able to be utilized. And we're looking to partner with transportation network companies, with taxis, or with private service providers and technology providers to try this new concept out in a part of our community. So why do we think this concept might work in the northeast part of San Antonio and maybe something that we should look at replicating and expanding in other parts of our community? Well, the pilot area that we've chosen is approximately 25 square miles. It's home to about 70,000 residents and has about 15,000 jobs within its boundaries. But this area is difficult to provide service to with a traditional fixed route vehicle. The 40-foot bus may not be the most appropriate vehicle to utilize in this area, but we know there's still a demand and need for transit service. So by utilizing mobility on demand, a system that could allow you, through access of an app on your smartphone or dialing into a customer service number, to request a rideshare pickup either at your door or within a block or two of your house, to be able to take you anywhere in the zone or to connect you into transit properties such as the Randolph Park and Ride, we may be able to provide a stronger level of service to our riders than we have today, and do so in a more efficient and effective manner. This would allow funding currently programmed for mainline fixed route bus service to not only help subsidize the cost of mobility on demand, but also produce savings that could be utilized to provide the other enhancements we've discussed. But we need to hear from you. We have the concept that's been developed based on the comments we've received to date. But now we need to know what you think of those concepts. There are many ways you can be involved in helping shape the future of the Better Bus Plan concept. From attending public meetings, to taking part in online virtual meetings, filling out the survey, or inviting us to attend and speak at your community or neighborhood meetings. The strength of the Better Bus Plan and the future services provided by VIA depend on our community, and we need to hear from you as to how we should prioritize these plans. The next steps for this concept still provide plenty of opportunity for public comment. This is the start of the conversation based on what we had heard previously and how we can, by working together, move forward in implementing a new concept and a new reality for our transportation system. While we are with the community in the March timeframe, we anticipate presenting an update to the VIA Board of Trustees in the spring of 2018, summarizing the comments and input provided by the community. After that update, we will start developing the plans on integrating features of the Better Bus system into our regular service updates, which will always provide opportunities for the community to be involved each step of the way. So we invite your comments on this plan. You can email your comments to gcr@viainfo.net or mail your comments to Better Bus Plan, care of Government and Community Relations, 800 West Myrtle, San Antonio, Texas, 78212. We thank you for your attention and interest in Via Metropolitan Transit and our efforts to build a better bus system for our community today and tomorrow.